It is the Frank and Friends show. Hi, I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Kathryn Frady.
Welcome back, Kathryn.
Thanks, Frank.
Before you head off to Baton Rouge again.
Baton Rouge.
Well, this is kind of like the off-season of opera, isn't it?
It is.
In August,
Yeah.
or now going into September.
Well, especially for Marble City Opera, this season, it is the off-season. Because we're making way for those people who like to watch football.
Valid point. It's football opera season. You've heard of soap operas. You've heard of Marble City Opera. Well, it's time for football opera in Tennessee.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
Well, thank you so much for watching, sharing, subscribing, telling your friends about it. And a few of you are really good about sharing the Facebook link when we post it.
Yeah, we really appreciate that.
Smashing the button for notifications, clicking the like on the YouTube, because that also helps the algorithms. All of those things help. But I mean, people like our friend Tanya Cinnamon and Chris Kite, a few of those are very good about sharing the episodes that,
awesome.
When they see it online. And I like that a lot. You can also get our fabulous merchandise, like the Frank and Friends Show bucket hat, as mentioned in a previous episode. I figure I better say it at the beginning. April, just in case you didn't watch all the way to the end of the last one.
That's right. We appreciate you wearing that bucket hat everywhere you go.
Here's that bucket hat. Yes, in fact, one of these days we should do a performance on stage. We could call it Bucket Hat. We'll do it live.
Nice.
So that's at frankandfriendshow.com/store. Okay, so it's getting to be the end of August. It's August 30th. I wanted to mention again is Missy Barrett Day, a day to do good deeds.
That's good.
So if you're watching this on or about August 30th, like at the end of The Wizard of Oz, be a good deed doer.
Do something good.
A philanthropist.
Yes.
So I don't know exactly what that is. What's your latest good deed?
Ooh.
I'll get back to you. I didn't mean to hit you with the
Put me
pop
on the
quiz.
spot, yeah.
Didn't mean to hit you with the pop quiz like that. What I did was when the kids had come over, we had, meaning our grandkids were here during July, in different increments. At one point, Jere was clearing out some space in the closet. 'Cause they stay in the guest bedrooms, and Jere is notorious for taking over the guest bedrooms and the closets.
Nice.
But
Yeah, it's a staging area.
They become her
Yeah.
closets.
Yeah.
Well, she thought, she can weed out some of that stuff, and gave it to me to take to the Ladies of Charity.
Nice.
And that's over like at Baxter and Central. It's next to Holy Ghost Church. They have a really nice thrift store over there. In fact, they've got the Halloween shop is up and running already.
Nice.
I'm sure they'll have a Christmas shop over there. And there was a time last year during the taping of Scholars Bowl where we were doing so many episodes, I was saying I was going to run out of neckties, and one of the judges said, well, you should just go to Carm or Ladies of Charity and buy yourself more neckties.
So you did?
I did, and I got some nice ones.
Oh, good.
So I thought, here's what I'll do, is I'll take Jerry's clothes over there, donate them, get the receipt for the taxes.
Nice.
And then go in and spend a little bit of money.
And get the neckties.
Yeah, because they're $1.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Well, the lady in charge of Ladies of Charity happened to be there that day working the door and accepting the donations. Susan Unbehauen is her name. And she's like, oh, hi, Frank. And I said, yeah, I'm going to donate this to my Jerry's stuff. And I thought maybe I'd buy some neckties while I'm here. She's, neckties, wait. And she goes and gets some lady who's in charge of intake, I guess.
Okay.
And she says, oh, yeah, she says, I have a new batch of neckties. We haven't put them out on the floor yet.
Oh, very nice. You get to be the first VIP person to
She says, since you're so
neckties.
fancy and since you emceed that one thing for us that one time and didn't charge us,
Absolutely.
we'll let you rifle through the recent arrivals of neckties. So I ended up buying, I think, 15 of them.
Okay.
And they needed a way to get them home, so they just said, well, here, just take this box.
We'll pull some out. We want to see. Well, there they are, because we might use these for sundresses and neckties next year.
Oh, that's the Brandon Gibson fundraiser?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, these are all for Scholars Bowl is my intention, for the most part. That one, I got a solid one, the solid red. This one has got some kind of like collegiate-looking emblems. Doesn't this remind you of colleges?
It does.
On there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Harry Potter.
Also.
This one is good. We the People.
See, I thought that one, I don't know if you'll see it on TV, but I can show it to the kids when, because we have a lot of government and civics questions on the show.
Yeah.
And most of them are just, and then here, this is probably the best value, is I got some Vols tie, not that I would wear on TV, but oftentimes you have to MC events.
Nice.
like when I'm emceeing Dr. Bass events, or, well, he's retired from it, but now Ron Ledbetter events or something like that, I can wear this Vols tie.
It's a good one.
For that. Anyway, so I got a nice haul.
Collection here.
Yeah. And they all seem to be pretty clean. If any of them need, but I still got time. I still got another month and a half before we start recording Scholars Bowl. So I just was happy. Had that under the table for a few days waiting to show somebody. And I'm glad I got to show you. It makes me happy.
Do they dry clean things when they come in, or clean them at all, or is that up to the people who buy them?
I'll say it's up to the people who buy them, because last year, not this trip, but last year, I didn't know about the stash back. Maybe there wasn't a stash. I was just buying them off the floor.
Sure.
The ones off the rack on the floor. And I saw one that I liked, but it had a stain on it.
Gotcha.
So they gave me a discount. It was only 50 cents.
Nice. That's great.
So then I had it dry cleaned, and which cost more than 50 cents, obviously, but it doesn't matter. I still got a new tie out of it.
Yeah, that's great.
So I thought that was a good deal.
Yeah, it is.
So that's a good deed. If you're looking for good deeds to do, you maybe donate some of your stuff to CARM or Ladies of Charity or somebody. I think it's good.
I think it is good.
Yeah. Now, I think, were you here? I can't remember, because I have a rotating co-host now. You're literally put the friends in Frank and Friends. When I talked about the drama of finding out that I can't go to my dentist anymore.
That must have been Becca.
Well, I had this huge drama where I'm at the dental appointment, and then I leave, and I'm told that I've lost my AirPods at the dentist.
I do remember this.
So I go back and I search the whole dental office, trying to find my AirPods, and they weren't there. They were at home the whole time. My phone lied to me and told me my AirPods were it gave me the dentist's office address.
That. Yeah.
I was so mad. Well, so this is the last impression now that my dentist has of me, is the crazy guy who came back and
accusing everyone of stealing his
AirPods. And then I get the bill, and they're like, "Oh, your new insurance, we're not in the network for your new insurance, so it's going to cost you the full ride for a hygiene and x-rays."
Whoa.
And I'm like, oh man, which is not cheap.
No, it's not.
It's, I don't know exactly, but it's over $100. And normally you would just pay the copay. Or not, I don't even know if I pay the copay. I don't know how that works out.
Right.
Because cleanings are usually 100% covered.
Right.
So I was expecting to pay nothing, and now it's between $100 and $200. So my wife finds this out actually when she goes for her cleaning a few weeks later. And she says, well, I'm not going to pay it. And she says, cancel my appointment. And she walks out.
Yeah. No.
Right there on the spot.
Because she has another dentist that's going to be in.
Right. Well, we didn't know yet.
Yeah.
We had to search through. So it became like trying to find the dermatologist. You're trying to look for a pretty dentist. So my wife actually said that to me. She said, do you want to go to the dentist I found, or do you want to look through the network and see if you can find a pretty blonde dentist, like you did with the dermatologist? I'm like, okay. Now I know my wife can be sarcastic with me,
sure,
and I know she's
joking.
Fun. I'm not, but it makes me, because I start laughing hilariously.
I did tell James about the beautiful dermatologists.
Yeah,
because he needs to go. So I was like, go to these people. They're great.
Apparently she's learned of this because April Hill.
Oh, did she tell on us?
She showed the video to the dermatologist. So it's fine. Apparently it went well.
Good.
I'm told
good.
I'm told all's well.
Okay, good. They laughed. They enjoyed it.
I think everything's fine.
Good.
I'm told all's well. So I called this new dental place, right? And I'm telling them the drama. I said, look, I got kicked out of my old dental place because they're not in the plan. You're in the plan. Da 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 da. And we're going back and forth about whatever. And she says to me, okay, well, you need to come in. You can't come in for a cleaning yet. First, the doctor has to examine you. You have to get evaluated. I said, oh, is it like an oral exam, or is there a written portion? So already, I'm just starting in.
Oh, no.
I'm starting in with all the stupid dad jokes.
You want them to know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, she says to me, okay, well, the next appointment with the doctor, she says, will be in September, so it's not too far away.
Okay.
And she says it'll be on such and such afternoon at 2:30. I said, you've got to be kidding me. That's the best dad joke ever. She's like, what are you talking about? She says, tooth hurty? Doesn't everyone want a dental appointment at tooth hurty? I mean, even my friend Bean has told this joke on his highly rated podcast, so I know it's top quality comedy. Tooth hurty. And the lady's like, oh, yeah, I guess I do have a sweatshirt with a picture of a tooth that says it's tooth day, or tooth's day.
Tooth day.
Monday, tooth's day, Wednesday, whatever.
Yeah.
So she kind of got the joke. But I'm like, oh, well, anyway, my appointment is actually so the first thing I did was I did a screen grab I get this confirmation email from them,
Yeah.
confirming your appointment on September, whatever
Whatever,
day it
at
is.
2:30.
At 2:30. And I screen grab that and send it to my friend Bean, who just writes back with 4 American flags, USA, USA, USA. So I was very happy that someone else got the joke.
Good.
So.
That's good.
But yeah, the pretty blonde dentist. I mean, my wife must think I have a thing for blondes.
Well,
I mean, she's not blonde. I mean, she gets her hair lightened, so it's
Does
kind
she?
of
Yeah.
kind of
Kind of
blonde-ish.
blondish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Currently, it's blonde. I guess
I'm trying
you
to
would
go
say.
back blonde. Is that a bad decision now?
How blonde?
Blonde,
As
like-
blonde as when we first met.
I looked at some pictures recently, and
Yeah.
that was like really like
Right. That was. Oh yeah,
like
that was good.
bleach blonde.
That was
Yeah.
great. That was good stuff.
Yeah, I've actually been trying to get my hairdresser to let me go blonde for
What are you doing currently?
This is somewhere in the middle, which is weird, and I hate being in the middle. But so last
She's extreme.
well, it takes a lot because you're like getting all of that,
Yeah.
bleach. Basically, it dries it out. So, but she wouldn't let me go blonde at first because she's like, no.
But you've done it before.
Yeah, I think it was because it was like right after Brandon had died, and she was like, "You're not allowed to make big decisions like on your hair, like during trauma." She's known me for like 12 years. So
Okay, so this is like a therapist.
she's my hairdresser. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's no,
Like, duh. How could you not know that?
she's my longest time friend in Knoxville. She's the
Really?
first person I really met when I moved here,
No kidding.
and I still go to her. Yeah.
Because if you find the pictures of us, remember you found these last year of, Facebook says you and Kathryn have been friends for 5 years, I think it was at the time, so probably now coming up on 6, which seems too short.
That does seem short. I don't think
So
that's
maybe that's
accurate.
not right.
Yeah,
but the pictures are of me with this blonde, and you're like, wait a second, she's got the cheeks of Frady.
yeah, it's my twin sister.
But you said last time you were here that as a kid you were blonde.
I was blonde. Yeah. I know. It seems strange to think. And I've had like dark hair.
Well, you've had
almost
Morticia.
black.
You've had not too long ago, maybe it was when Brandon died, you had Morticia hair.
Well, that was the original Tosca black.
Oh, all right. So that was why. That was
Yeah.
before Brandon died. You had the Tosca hair.
That's when in 2018 I decided to go from very, very blonde, like bleach blonde, to Tosca black.
It was a shock to those of us who knew you.
Yes. And some people still think like,
What's wrong with Kathryn?
right, what's wrong with Kathryn? So now I'm finally trying to get back,
Which is easier? Now, Tosca is a character who has black hair, so that
Right.
made sense.
Right.
Rather than try to wear a wig. As an opera star, how does hair color affect your roles?
Well, it shouldn't affect the roles, but the people casting quite often don't have imaginations, don't listen to me, but they don't have imaginations. And
In your most recent opera, Julie Belanger,
she had blue hair.
and she wore a wig.
She wore a wig,
But she does that all the
yes.
time. She always wears wigs
Right.
because she's not going to change her blue hair
Exactly.
for a role. Because her other
Sure.
job is kind of a rock violinist, right?
Right.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
So she does the rock and roll and the violin, and she's got blue hair for that.
Yeah.
That's part of that
She's like a
character.
metal band, yeah.
So when she's a character in an opera, she just puts on
Or
a
in the
wig.
symphony, she wears a wig. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times that the people casting, like the reason why I went to Tosca Black is because the person who was hiring me did not want to provide wigs and did not want a blonde Tosca.
Oh, this isn't your. Oh, I thought you were talking about your own production
no,
of
this
Tosca.
is one that I sang for Helena Symphony.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, back in 2018.
Because it's in the script, or not the script. What do you call it? The libretto.
libretto,
It doesn't it mention her hair color?
It does.
In the thing, so you
It
can't.
does.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, we could have put a wig on me, but he had offered me the role, and then he was like going, oh, well, I don't know. I really don't want a blonde Tosca. And I'm like, I will dye my hair. It's fine. I'm not losing this role because
Yeah.
my hair is blonde.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize
yeah.
that. I thought you were talking about the Tosca that I saw you do.
No, that's just why I've had that color hair for a while.
Ah.
But I feel like now, like people know that I sing Tosca.
Yeah.
It's not like I have to prove that I sing Tosca.
Yeah.
So my hair doesn't have to be brown or
Yeah.
dark, That's my imagination.
Are there blonde characters? I mean, ones that are a lot
More
of
blonde?
Well, there's a lot of. I'm thinking of a lot of those opera singers that I've seen on Instagram and whatever. There's a lot of blondes.
Yeah. They're blondes. I think when I was blonde, it depends on what size voice type you have. Like if you're blonde and your voice is kind of smaller, then it's great because you're going to play all those cute little maids and pretty little blonde girls.
But if you're the lead, if you're the one who just takes that score by the handles and
Well, also if you're blonde, like a lot of German roles, they push you into like the Wagner.
That must be what I was thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Very good. All right, let's mention what happens to your hair after. I wonder what happens if they've ever studied dyed hair on dead people.
I don't know.
Anyway, that's
interesting.
I was trying to lead us into forensic anthropology and Dr. Bill Bass, creator of The Body Farm, where you can now go to bonezones.com. Don't forget the S. Wish Dr. Bass a happy birthday on August 30th. He is 95 years old and has pretty much retired from everything except autographing the stuff that you buy at bonezones.com. Don't forget the S. So get the T-shirts, get the books, get the hats, get the skulls, the resin skull, or the little gold skull. Get the Dr. Bill Bass groupie hat. Here,
books.
in honor of Dr. Bass's birthday. Go Vols. It's funny because he's gone, attended Pennsylvania, or Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Kentucky is where he got his 3 degrees.
Oh, okay.
But he's a Vols fan all the way through. He used to build his whole schedule around Vols games.
Nice.
So we couldn't book him, for anything.
Well, can you book anything during a Vols game?
Well, that is an interesting point. Let's get to that in a moment because you briefly alluded to it. But here's the skull, there's the books. So Dr. Bass has got the goods, and we want to say happy birthday, Dr. Bass. You can also find out about Rod Ledbetter's incredible book, also Sam Venable, Bill Landry, some of the other guys who are friends with Dr. Bass are using bonezones.com to help move their autographed merchandise. And you can buy this elsewhere, not autographed, but if you get it from Bone Zones, you can get a signed copy. Or you can find out about his upcoming speaking engagements and book signing tour, et cetera, et cetera. And that's got a lot going on in there. And that's the message from bonezones.com. Don't forget the S. They're our longest sponsor to the point where when first time I ever did a podcast in this current iteration, I wanted to put in there that I would do commercials during the show, right?
Right.
So I thought, well, I'll just do a free commercial for Bone Zones because they won't get mad, and it's not like they're going to get mad if I make a joke, the don't forget the S joke and all that business.
Right.
So I threw it in there, and the reaction to that first episode was so amazing that Susan from Bone Zones was like, well, I'll buy ads. Like,
that's awesome.
That was I was using you as an example, but if you do want to get an ad on the show, like I've got some ads coming up for the Secret City Improv Fest.
Nice.
So shout out to Aaron Campbell. That's coming up at the beginning of October.
Nice.
In Oak Ridge. Just send me an email to frankandfriendshow@gmail.com, which is also the PayPal address. So
and we'll do a commercial for you.
When you want to pay for those ads. So we were talking about, at the very beginning of the episode, I meant to come back to it, about how it was kind of like, it's off season for Marble City Opera because you've moved all the shows into a closer time frame, and it's like a festival.
It's like a little bit of a festival in the summer, but we're also doing a holiday opera. So
in January, so you got January 6th, and then 2 in June. So instead of 1 in October and 1 in
March, and then
February,
1 in
March,
June.
and 1 in June, you're doing 1 in January, 2 in June. It's different.
It is different. What do you think about it?
Well, I thought it was based on your travel schedule, frankly, is what I thought. I'm used to bending over backwards to accommodate your schedule, so.
Well, yeah, now the whole community has to. You're welcome.
Well, but I mean, let's be honest, if you have the other opera company, they scheduled a show for a football weekend. So that creates some logistical challenges just to get to the show.
Yeah.
And that's the same as if there's a huge basketball game and you're trying to get to Clarence Brown Theater.
Yep.
Or, I don't think they would schedule anything else within a mile of campus on a football Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, what I would say is that there's a lot going on in the fall in Knoxville with the football, you've got other performance arts groups performing during this time,
Yeah.
and we use a lot of local performers, not just singers, but also instrumentalists.
Oh.
And, you have the Oak Ridge Symphony, and you've got Symphony on the Mountains, and the Knoxville Symphony, and
Yeah.
all of the UT kids are booked with all of the stuff that they're doing.
I was just trying to put an orchestra
putting
together.
an orchestra together can be very challenging.
I
in the fall.
remember,
Yeah.
I think it was one of the shows at Beck Center that was an issue because you were trying, I remember you asked me.
Do you know any violins?
Yeah, I was, and I sent you 3 and they were
Yeah.
all booked. And I was
They were all
like,
booked.
I couldn't believe it.
Exactly. So, that's kind of one of the reasons why we ended up moving in that direction, is just because the resources here in town, it's
Yeah.
great. There are so many arts organizations and so many people working, but everyone's working.
Well, yeah, when you count, and I think you need to count UT Opera as the third opera program here in town.
Yeah.
And that's, your husband works there, so he gets to, it's a new semester for him.
I sent him off to school. I took, everyone's taking these pictures of first day of school, and it's not just, you have the parents who are taking them of the kids, and
with these very expenve looking signs.
chalkboards, and,
who's
it's all
buying
well
those?
done. I know. My sister-in-law, every year has done my oldest nephew is a junior in high school, and poor thing, he's been doing this every single year. I'm sure he's thrilled.
I saw the signs at Aldi. They were cheaper than I thought they were.
Okay.
But it's Aldi, so of course everything's cheaper at Aldi than you think it is.
Right.
But I remember seeing on Facebook one that looked like, it didn't look like one where you would draw in, like you could use for multiple kids. It looked like it was custom printed
For that year?
For that kid for that year, is what it looked like. Now,
Wow.
it could have been Photoshop. I don't know how they did it.
Sure.
But it sure looked like they bought a sign for what that would be used literally one time.
Yeah, well, my sign was not quite as beautiful as those signs. Here we are, James with his first day of school.
Oh, it's loose leaf paper.
Loose leaf paper.
13th grade.
Yeah, I decided he was in 13th grade. As he went off to school.
Well, I have seen some people who are freshmen in college put 13th grade. But as someone, somebody used to work at Channel 10, now she's getting her master's or her PhD at UT. And so they put on, like, whatever, they can actually figure out what it would be. I want to say 37th grade, but that doesn't make any sense. But it's some very high number.
Yeah.
Of probably 27th grade or something like that. It's funny.
Yeah, I just wanted to participate. Everyone, even our colleagues are taking pictures of themselves sitting at their desks or their pianos, and saying how many years they've been at their universities. And this looks more like a mugshot. But
it does. Yeah. It looks all, really, you picked everything about it.
It's perfect.
You can put it up on a telephone pole. Lost husband. Have you seen this guy?
Exactly.
We're looking forward to some stuff coming up with visitors coming into town on that first football weekend. But thankfully, the Vols are not in town, so we were able to get dinner reservations for downtown. I think probably either right at the end of the game, or I'm not sure what time the game ends, but it'll be close. But we got the reservations, so we're like, okay, we're going.
Good.
This is the ones where you have to pay $25 a person if you cancel.
Oh my goodness, can't believe it.
And I was reminded because it's J.C. Holdway, so I walk past that restaurant a lot, and they're closed, I think, on Sunday, Monday, but they open for Tuesdays, and it's always packed.
Yeah.
So I was walking by, and we were going past there the other night. Jere and I were walking together, and I guess I had been out gardening. Now that I think of it, it must have been we were going to comedian Alex Stokes had a birthday party.
Oh, nice.
And we parked in our usual garage, in our usual space at the Locust Street garage. And we're walking past J.C. Holdway, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to make it because I've been out gardening and I'm achy. I meant to take an Aleve because whatever reason my chiropractor says, well, for you, naproxen sodium, that's what you should take. Just take generic. It's the same thing as Aleve. Just you're fine with that. But I didn't take one, and I'm just a little achy and sore from having pulled weeds and done.
It's hard work.
Done yard work, and my wife says, "Oh, I think I have one." So she's fishing around because she doesn't take those anymore for whatever reason. She switched to some other kind.
Okay.
But she still has in that still has
that jar that has like all of the medicine.
Yeah, and she's got to sift through. You got to figure
like
out.
Mary Poppins.
Yeah, they're all mixed together. You
Yeah.
got to figure out which one is Tylenol and which one is Aleve, and which one is an allergy
That
pill.
terrifies me, just as a side note. But
Well, it said Aleve on it.
okay, good. Here, just take this. No, thank
Because
you.
it was a gel cap.
Okay.
So it's a blue gel cap, and I'm reminded of it because I remember the ballerinas out at Oak Ridge used to take these and pins. They would take pins to them and pop them. And
So
then,
that they would get it quicker?
No, they would take the gel and they would rub it on their toes,
Oh my
which
gosh.
were in such pain from wearing
Wow.
those point shoes.
Yeah.
So they would take and just try to rub it into the skin.
Right.
So anyway, I take this. I'm like, well, I want to take it now. We're just left the parking garage. I chugged the water bottle that I had and I threw it out. I don't have any water. When it's going to be, the bar's way over on Gay Street across from like Kilwins or something like that.
Okay.
So it's I forget what it's called, Mirage. So I don't even know exactly where it is. We got to walk over there. So I said, well, I think I can do this. I used to be able to just take a pill and work
Just,
up
like,
enough
swallow it.
saliva
Yeah.
and
And
do
it's
it.
gel.
But ever since I started taking these stupid vitamin C capsules, not even capsules, these huge vitamin C pills that are just, I can't swallow them. So I have to bite them in half and then take water, and it's nasty. So I thought, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this Aleve. It should slide right down.
You started choking on the
Well,
street?
no, I'm trying to work up the saliva, so I'm like, all right, let's put it off to the side. And we're walking uphill toward J.C. Holloway and then turning and going, Union Street toward Market Square.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure people thought I looked like a crazy person.
Probably. Yeah. Jerry's like just
And then-
staying away. Yeah.
At the point where all of a sudden now you start. In fact, now that I'm even telling the story, I can taste it again. The memory has come back of this
Oh, no.
nasty, of the Aleve capsule dissolving in my mouth, and you're starting to taste the.
Oh,
the
you just
stuff.
like basically drank it. That's disgusting. You cut open.
I might need to be the title of the episode. You basically drank it. I didn't mean to cut it open. It just started dissolving, but
Oh wow.
I choked it down. And I'm like, now what? So I'm reaching in my pockets. And of course, I had a Ludens. I had a Ludens in my pocket, so
Sure.
I take it. It was the worst tasting Ludens I've ever had in my
Sure,
life
yeah.
because it didn't taste like cherry or anything. It was just,
Right.
it was overwhelmed
Covered
by
in
the.
Aleve. Yeah. Well, I bet you started feeling better really quickly.
Well, once I got the taste out of my mouth, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
It went out of my mind.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's, it's always an adventure with Frank.
Another mess.
Bless Jerry.
Just another disaster. Oh well. So you were asking me about disasters, because there's
Yeah.
we had a tornado in Knoxville, and I'm so thankful. You probably saw. Did you see how close the damage came to our neighborhood?
Yeah, no,
mean-
I wasn't really paying attention.
Oh, if you drive on Middlebury Pike, there's huge trees, and also not near our neighborhood, but over at Lakeshore Park, enormous 100-year-old trees just uprooted
wow.
by that storm that knocked the power out of Becca's house, and it missed our neighborhood. So I'm thankful I
Thank
had
goodness.
nothing wrong.
Yeah, missed ours too. But there are all these fires happening in Louisiana now.
Oh, in Louisiana?
In Louisiana, yeah.
I thought you were going to tell about the tragedy in Hawaii. But
There was the tragedy in Hawaii, but now there's all these fires happening in Louisiana, and they're saying because it's like 100, 102 degrees for weeks on end, and there hasn't been any rain.
yeah,
and
Bean talks about
normally-
that a lot. There's no rain.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
my.
no rain. And normally this kind of season, you'd be worrying about hurricanes.
Right, we're coming up on the anniversary of Katrina at the end of the last day of August or I don't know, what is it, August 27th, somewhere around
Yeah.
there is the Katrina anniversary.
Yeah, so, we're talking about having tons of rain and tons of water, and now there's none. It's basically the state's basically going through a drought.
Oh, no.
And all these fires are popping up. So I'm sitting here wondering, what is worse, fires
How-
or hurricanes? And how am I escaping when they occur?
Well, you can come to Knoxville,
Okay,
number
that's
one,
good.
because we have very few of those. I mean, we've had them. Obviously, we had a tornado,
Yeah.
and obviously Gatlinburg had horrific wildfires,
Fires.
and we occasionally get the remnants of a tornado, and we get flash flooding, But, I mean, nothing like you have in other parts of the world, where they had
It's relatively mild here.
they had a hurricane in Los Angeles,
Right.
A hurricane and an earthquake at the same time.
Yeah.
You have
Doesn't bode well for our world actually surviving.
well, I mean, I'll disagree.
Yeah.
Because as bad as the disasters are, for the most part, now Hawaii is an exception to that. For the most part, the death toll has gone down. We're better at
Managing them?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
mean, we seem to have much better notification. Granted, the property damage on hurricanes is off the charts, but because we keep building more and more expensive things closer and closer to
the water.
Yeah,
But you want a good view.
But I think we learned.
You want to see the hurricane coming.
We've learned some lessons, and the meteorologists have gotten more accurate in their predictions.
That's true.
And people now take it more seriously. I think when they say evacuate, you
evacuate. Get up and leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except in those states that don't have evacuation laws, like Florida.
They don't?
No, they don't make you leave.
Well, then don't go there.
Exactly. Don't go.
I was talking with a friend who's got a pizza place out in Solway. It's the Little Nicky's Pizza, Dina, and they had a second restaurant in Florida. It got demolished by a hurricane, and they're never going to be able to rebuild it. But their home was also destroyed, and they are trying to rebuild that.
Yeah.
Their Florida home. They had Tennessee and Florida both, and I mean,
it's terrible.
They got out. They were able to get away.
That's good.
So even though they weren't told, they knew
to leave.
Yeah, and I think most people have enough common sense to.
Yeah, except for me.
Get out.
That hurricane. Well, I was in that hurricane in Florida during the pandemic with James in Florida.
Oh, I didn't remember this one.
Yeah, so we went on vacation, and the hurricane looked like it was going to go towards New Orleans. So we were like, oh, it's no big deal. We're fine. We can stay here. And James, being from New Orleans, thought well, if it was going to be too bad, surely they would tell us it's a mandatory evacuation.
Yeah, like they do where he's from. Okay.
Right. So we kept waiting for a mandatory evacuation, and it never came.
Uh-oh.
And then it was a terrible hurricane, like slow moving. It was like a 3, and we were stuck in it. Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, that was fun. Good times.
But you survived.
What a wonderful vacation.
You survived, right? Did you get flooded out or no?
No, we didn't get flooded out. I mean, the place that we were in, fortunately, we were renting, and it was in between 2 other units, essentially, but we were very close to the water. The place did flood a little bit, but not too bad.
All right.
So anyway, we survived. We're still here.
Let's leave with a happy story.
Okay.
All right. I was at church the other day, and they had a reception afterward.
Okay.
And this is the one where you go around and you sign up to volunteer at things.
Yeah.
So they invite they especially want the newcomers to come in, but everyone's got their name tags on, and they're like, oh, here's the different guilds. Here's the, let's see, there's a St. Clair's Guild, and a St. Zita's Guild, and a St. I can't remember them all. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Guild, and all these different ones that are named after saints. And these are the same ladies, a lot of them, and men, who during Lent will provide either lunches on Wednesdays or do the fish suppers on Fridays.
Do they raise money as well as part of their guild activity, or?
They probably do.
Yeah.
But in this situation, the lunch that I go to is free of charge.
Nice.
And the fish fry, they charge a nominal fee to buy the fried fish. In fact, they're trying to get me to join that group. Like, well, if you're coming to the fish fry anyway, all you got to do is come a little early and help us set up, and you can be one of the, one of the Knights, the Knights of Columbus. I'm like, well, I'm not ready.
Good deeds.
I know, but I also need a better paying job before I can start volunteering more of my time. So, but I did sign up to be one of the readers. When you get up there and you read, because I can do that.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, I actually enjoy it. It's something I can do. So there, and this guy says to me, he was in the fly fishing ministry.
What is a fly fishing ministry?
There's a bunch of men who go fly fishing and talk about Jesus.
Okay.
But I mean, the thing about the entry level to that, you got to buy fishing poles. But that's what they do. They're the fly fishers of men. So it's a men's group, and they get together once a year for a fishing retreat.
And is that the fish that's being fried?
It should be. That would make more sense.
That would be great.
But I think they just cook basic cod.
All right.
Anyhow, so this guy says to me, and I went over to there's a Haiti outreach ministry, speaking of areas that always need help from natural disasters. And I had volunteered to be the MC for I was voluntold, I was asked, will you MC the Haiti outreach banquet on September 22nd this year? And this will be like the 3rd or 4th year that I've done it. And it's lovely because they raise all this money. And these doctors who are in the, they go down there and they do medical procedures for the Haitians, and they build churches and schools, and they've got a plan where they're able to wire funds to, and get money there, even though it's very, very difficult. Right. So they've got it figured out, and they're able to help this one community in Haiti. So I was checking in with those guys, and the next table over is the fly fishers. And this guy says to me, hey, I got a question for you. Are you on Scholars Bowl? I'm like, yes, that is me. I'm on East Tennessee PBS with the Tennessee Scholars Bowl coming up on its 40th season. And anyway. And I said, yeah. He says, well, I've seen you at church, and I thought it was you. But when you finally got up there, and because I hadn't been a reader at this church for, I've only recently joined and signed up as one of the readers, a lector. So yeah, when you got up there and did the reading, that's when I knew it was you.
That's great.
And I said, well, pardon me to turn it back around on you. And, I'm not trying to, I'm complimented that he recognized me. But I said to the guy, I recognize you also.
Who's he?
He's like, what are you talking about? I said, 1.5 years ago, Easter Vigil. He's looking at me like, yeah. I said, there was this kid who set his hair on fire.
I remember that guy.
I told you this story.
Yes.
This kid with long hair, and he's just like, they got the candles at the beginning of the Easter Vigil, and next thing you know, his hair has caught on fire. And I said, you're the dad who was 2 pews back, and you jumped forward, maybe 1 pew back. Anyway, he leaps forward, and he starts hitting this kid in the head. With his bare hands, and he put out the fire. I said, you're the guy who put out the hair fire. So to me, you're as much of a celebrity.
That's amazing. That's great.
And he seemed surprised that I remembered that. But you don't forget it. If you see the guy who puts out the hair fire with his bare hands, and then you see him every Sunday after that for the next 1.5 years, you always think,
who he is.
That's the hair fire.
So you want to sit near him just in case there's fire. He's going to put it out at all costs.
So his name is David. I learned his name is David.
Right.
I can't remember
Wonderful.
his last name, but David is his name.
Yeah.
So
you told him about the Frank and Friends show?
I did, and I told him about Scholars Bowl, and it turns out he homescholes his kids. So
Nice.
trying to get them to come on Scholars Bowl, it probably is smart.
Nice.
Anyhow, that's the show. Thank you, Frady, for being here.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Always fun.
We've got some more episodes coming up with Sarah Roberto is coming over. Daniel Michael Crane, remember him?
I do.
We met him at a few different events. He's coming over. He asked if he could come on and be on the show.
Nice.
So we'll have him come by as well. And I don't know. I'll just make up more topips. I'm sure those guys have plenty of stuff to talk about too.
One of these days, maybe we'll do a remote show.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
When tell me some dates that you're available. I've got places we can go.
Okay.
I'm really technically waiting for the new Andy's Frozen Custard to open.
Right here.
In Knoxville, because Tom's already invited us. Well, did he invite us or did I invite myself?
It doesn't matter.
I think I invited us, but he didn't say no.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the end of September when that opens up. All right, get our merchandise, like the bucket hat and everything else at frankandfriendshow.com/store. Did we refold the towel? Oh yeah, we did.
We have a towel.
Oh, we refolded everything.
T-shirts.
We refolded the hoodie.
Sweatshirts.
This is the hoodie, which you can get.
You're getting into the fall.
Nice. They come
We
in
have
all
long
colors.
sleeve T-shirts also.
We do. I don't have one on me, but and those come in all colors. Like the one over there, that's Jere's, is black.
Nice.
She left it at an Einstein Simplified show the other night, and thankfully I got it back.
They knew who to get it to.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty obvious. I wonder whose Frank and Friends show hoodie this could be. I love the beach towel because it's got the full artwork on there. This is Jody Collins, who is now a board member at Marble City Opera. How did you rope him into it?
I told him you were there.
I had to pay him to do the logo.
Oh yeah.
He's not a volunteer. He's an artist.
Yeah, no, he is.
You can get all that stuff, and then also listen to more audio entertainment than just this by going to audibletrial.com/Frank and Friends show for a free 30-day premium membership. All the bells, all the whistles, and all the MP3 downloads. You get 1 credit for that per month. So take it during that first month. Try everything, and then it'll keep renewing until you decide you've had enough. But most people stick around because you
get hooked to all the content that's
there's always new stuff. Yeah, it's not like it's a finite universe. It's an infinite universe of new material coming in. There's no way. It would take multiple lifetimes to listen to everything that's already on there.
Right.
So, I look at it rather than, it's not like you're spending all this time listening. You're saving time because it's the easiest way to multitask. You can listen to this podcast on Audible while you're doing something else, like Kathryn's husband. You can, while you're driving, I listen to things while I'm out there working in the yard.
Yeah, that's great.
That's what my thing.
And you can probably share it, with other people in your household.
In your household, yeah. Especially if you're listening, you can gather around, when FDR did the fireside chats, you can gather around the Alexa speaker and all listen to the same audiobook at the same time.
Listen to the Frank and Friends show.
We used to do that with the kids. We would listen to great books, fun books they wanted to hear.
Sure.
on long car rides back and forth to Northern Virginia and
That's
here.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff. audibletrial.com/FrankandFriendsShow. And most of all, we appreciate you liking, sharing, subscribing, and telling
Smashing
your
that
friends for notifications. Click the thumbs uppy thing, the like button on the YouTube, because I'm confident we will eventually.
Eventually, we will reach that 1,000.
Let's see, where are we at?
We're getting close.
I don't know.
I was going to go dig into see how many more Gmail's accounts that I might have.
Well, we gained one since last time I
we're
checked.
really close, 935.
Yeah, so that's still 65 away. So that means we probably need like 75 or 100 because people keep canceling their
Yeah, but we're close.
their Gmail accounts expire and they go away.
That's very exciting. We should offer some sort of like incentive to help us get to the 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what that is yet. Maybe we'll do some special episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Tell me more. What are you going to sing?
I mean, I could sing. Absolutely. Yeah. We could do sort of like a...
Three-headed Broadway star?
If you help us get there, I come do a special aria performance on your doorstep, No? Anyone?
Do they get to specify whether you're blonde or brunette?
I mean, there are wigs, as we've discussed.
How low will you go, Kathryn? How low will you go? All right, we'll find out. See how that plays out.
Yeah.
Sure is a good thing your husband doesn't listen to this show. It is the Frank and Friends Show. Thank you for watching. I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Kathryn Frady.
And we'll talk to you again next time.